Imagine your friend becomes wealthier after losing their job in an economic crisis, finds true love after a heartbreak, and becomes stronger than ever after a health crisis. Sounds impossible? But this is the power of anti-fragile thinking. Today, I'm going to tell you a harsh truth: why 99% of people collapse when faced with chaos, while that 1% can harness chaos to become stronger. If you've ever felt helpless when facing setbacks, if you've ever wondered why some people can turn things around in adversity, then the next 15 minutes will completely change how you view crises. I will reveal the 3 fundamental reasons why most people fail in crises, introduce the complete anti-fragile thinking framework with 7 core principles, and give you 3 immediately actionable practice methods. More importantly, I'll use real cases and scientific research to prove why this mindset isn't just motivational talk, but a proven success strategy. Before we begin, I want to ask you a question. What's the biggest setback you've faced recently? Was it a failure at work, an emotional blow, or a health problem? Remember this setback because by the end of today, you'll learn how to transform it into your greatest advantage. Let's start with a disturbing fact. Our entire society is cultivating fragile people. From childhood, we're taught to avoid risks, pursue stability, and fear failure. Schools tell us making mistakes is bad, parents protect us from any harm, and society makes us believe failure is shameful. This protective education system has created generation after generation of people who are afraid to face difficulties. When real challenges come, most people are like hothouse flowers that shatter at the slightest touch. They haven't experienced real hardship, haven't learned how to recover from setbacks, and haven't realized that difficulties are actually catalysts for growth. This is why, when economic crises, health problems, or interpersonal conflicts appear, they simply collapse. Fragile thinking has 3 deadly characteristics. First is risk-averse mentality. These people value avoiding losses more than gaining benefits. They'd rather stay in their comfort zones than risk trying new possibilities. Second is linear thinking. They believe effort and results correspond directly, unable to understand non-linear relationships in a complex world. Third is victim mentality. When problems arise, their first reaction is, "Why is it always me?" instead of, "What can this experience teach me?" Have you ever had such experiences? When facing setbacks, is your first reaction to complain, escape, or look for opportunities? Let me tell you 2 real stories. The first protagonist is Sarah, who lost her investment banking job in the 2008 financial crisis. She saw this as the end of her life, spent 2 years complaining about the bad economy and unfair companies, and eventually had to accept a lower-paying job. The second protagonist is David, who also became unemployed in the financial crisis, but his reaction was completely different. He saw unemployment as an opportunity to reassess his career direction, used the unemployment period to learn digital marketing skills, eventually started his own company, and now earns 3 times what he used to make. These 2 people faced the same crisis but had completely different outcomes. Where's the difference? The difference lies in their mindset. Sarah had fragile thinking. David had anti-fragile thinking. What is anti-fragile thinking? It's not just being strong or resilient. Strong people can withstand blows without being destroyed, but anti-fragile people can gain strength from blows and become stronger than before. It's like your muscles when you lift weights. Muscle fibers suffer microscopic damage, but it's precisely this damage that makes muscles stronger after repair. The first core principle of anti-fragile thinking is the underlying logic of benefiting from chaos. Scientific research shows there's a U-shaped relationship between stress and growth. Without stress, we stagnate. With too much stress, we get crushed. But moderate stress stimulates our potential and drives growth. The key is learning to identify and seek out chaos and stress that benefit us. The second principle is selective exposure strategy. This means actively seeking appropriate challenges rather than passively waiting for difficulties to find us. Like the principle of vaccines, by exposing ourselves to small amounts of virus, our immune system becomes stronger. By actively facing small challenges, we develop the ability to handle big challenges. The third principle is the power of reverse thinking. When most people see problems, anti-fragile thinkers see opportunities. When most people ask, "Why me?" they ask, "What can this teach me?" This mental shift isn't self-deceptive optimism, but based on the fact that every setback contains seeds of growth. Now let me detail the 7 core principles of anti-fragile thinking. The first principle is the overcompensation principle. When your body receives moderate stress, like strength training, it doesn't just recover to its original state, but becomes stronger than before. This is overcompensation. Mental resilience follows the same rule. Each time you successfully overcome a challenge, your confidence and ability exceed previous levels. The key is trusting this process and believing difficulties are opportunities to become stronger. The second principle is small losses, big gains principle. This is the core thinking of venture capital. You're willing to accept small, controllable losses in exchange for huge potential gains. In life, this means conducting experimental attempts. Maybe 9 out of 10 attempts will fail, but the 10th success might change your entire life trajectory. The third principle is option accumulation principle. Anti-fragile thinkers always strive to create more choices for themselves. They learn multiple skills, build diversified income sources, and maintain broad networks. When opportunities arise, they have the ability to seize them. When crises appear, they have multiple response options. The fourth principle is reverse stress testing. Don't wait for stress to find you, but actively seek and create moderate stress. Just like pilots need to practice handling various emergencies in simulators, you need to practice handling life's various challenges in safe environments. The fifth principle is information filtering optimization. In the information explosion era, learning to distinguish noise from signal becomes crucial. Anti-fragile thinkers focus on truly important information while ignoring noise that only creates anxiety. They build reliable information sources and cultivate independent thinking abilities. The sixth principle is nonlinear thinking cultivation. The world is complex, and small changes can produce huge impacts. This is the butterfly effect. Anti-fragile thinkers understand this complexity. They know success often comes from unexpected places, and failure might hide tremendous opportunities. The seventh principle is value anchoring. In a changing world, you need some unchanging things as anchors. These are your core values. They provide direction and meaning, keeping you clear-headed in chaos. But at the tactical level, you need flexibility, adjusting your methods according to circumstances. Theory is important, but practice is more critical. Now, let me give you 3 tools you can start using immediately. The first tool is the Antifragile journal method. Spend 5 minutes each evening recording the challenges or setbacks you encountered that day. Then, ask yourself 3 questions. What did this experience teach me? What new skills or insights did I gain? How can I use this experience to improve future performance? Stick with this practice for a month, and you'll be amazed at how fundamentally your attitude toward difficulties changes. The second tool is stress exposure. Design a small challenge for yourself each week that should make you feel slightly uncomfortable but won't cause real harm. For example, if you fear public speaking, start by speaking up in meetings. If you fear rejection, try asking strangers for small favors. Over time, gradually increase the difficulty of challenges. The third tool is reverse thinking practice. When facing an important decision, don't just consider possibilities for success. But also, seriously, think about consequences of failure. Ask yourself, what if this fails? What's the worst-case scenario? Even in the worst case, what opportunities can I still find? This practice will help you make wiser decisions while reducing fear of failure. Now, let's see how these principles apply to specific life scenarios. In career development, unemployment crises are actually excellent opportunities to reassess and adjust career directions. Industry changes eliminate some positions, but also create new opportunities. Those who can adapt to change and continue learning often gain better positions in transformations than they had before. In interpersonal relationships, conflicts and disagreements aren't the end of relationships, but opportunities to deepen understanding. Rejection and heartbreak, though painful, help us more clearly recognize our needs and values, preparing us to find truly suitable partners. In health management, disease crises, though frightening, often prompt us to re-examine lifestyles and establish healthier habits. Physical limitations might close some doors, but also open other windows. In financial management, economic crises cause losses, but also create investment opportunities. Those who remain calm when others panic often acquire quality assets at lower prices. Scientific research strongly supports the effectiveness of antifragile thinking. Neuroscience research shows moderate stress can promote brain neuroplasticity, enhancing learning and memory abilities. Psychology's post-traumatic growth theory finds that people who experience major setbacks often become stronger than before in certain aspects. Business research also shows companies that survive crises often become stronger and more competitive than before the crisis. However, I must clarify some common misconceptions. Antifragile doesn't equal reckless risk-taking. You need wise risk-taking, not blind adventure. Not all stress is beneficial. Excessive stress causes harm. You need to learn to identify which challenges benefit you and which might exceed your capacity. Also, recognize personal ability boundaries and seek professional help when necessary. When implementing these principles, gradual progression is key. Don't try to change everything overnight. Let me summarize today's core content. Crises aren't disasters, but opportunities expressed differently. Those who can flourish in adversity have mastered a complete anti-fragile thinking system. They not only can withstand blows, but gain strength from them. If you want to immediately start cultivating anti-fragile thinking, here are 3 steps. First, start writing an anti-fragile journal today, recording and reflecting on daily challenges. Second, design a small challenge for yourself each week, gradually expanding your comfort zone. Third, when making important decisions, practice reverse thinking, considering possibilities and opportunities in failure. I suggest you create a 30-day anti-fragile thinking development plan. Focus on changing your perception of difficulties in the first 10 days. Concentrate on actively seeking and creating challenges in the middle 10 days. And integrate all principles in the final 10 days to form a stable mindset. Long term, this way of thinking will become your most valuable asset, helping you not just survive, but thrive in an uncertain world. Now, I want to hear your story. Share in the comments your experiences of transforming setbacks into growth. Tell me, which anti-fragile principle do you find most challenging? Which specific field application would you like me to explore in depth in the next video? Your sharing can not only help other viewers, but also help me better understand everyone's needs. If this framework changed how you view crises, please like this video so more people can see it. Remember to subscribe to the channel. I'll continue sharing more content on mental resilience and personal growth. Next time, we'll explore in depth how to apply anti-fragile thinking in the workplace, including how to actively seek challenges at work, how to transform career setbacks into promotion opportunities, and how to build anti-fragile career development strategies. Don't miss it. Remember, every difficulty you encounter is an opportunity to become stronger. The question isn't whether you'll face setbacks, but how you'll use these setbacks. Starting now, let's embrace chaos together, find certainty in uncertainty, and discover opportunities in crises. Your anti-fragile journey begins today.